Hey everyone! Welcome to our Java programming series. In this video, we'll dive into building a secure email system. Email is a critical part of our daily communications, but it can also be vulnerable to attacks, so let's make it secure. Before we jump into the code, let's discuss what we mean by a secure email system. Essentially, we will focus on creating an email system that encrypts messages and authenticates users, ensuring that sensitive information remains confidential. Here's the agenda for today's tutorial. First, we'll set up our development environment. Then we'll create user authentication using secure passwords. After that, we'll implement email encryption and decryption. Finally, we'll set up some simple tests to ensure everything works as expected. Let's begin by setting up our development environment. We will be using Java 17 and Maven to manage our project dependencies. After generating the Maven project, let's navigate to the pom.xml file and add dependencies for encryption. We will use Bouncy Castle, a popular library for cryptography in Java. Now, let's create a class for user authentication. We'll use Java's built-in hashing capabilities to securely store user passwords. We'll start by creating a user class with fields such as username and password hash. Next, we need to implement password hashing. We'll use SHA-256 for hashing the passwords. Let's create a utility class to handle password operations. Now that we've set up the hashing mechanism, we can create our user registration method. This method will take a username and password, hash the password, create a new user, and store it somewhere. To validate users, we'd create a method that checks the password during login. If the hashed version of the input password matches the stored one, the login is successful. Great! We now have a basic user authentication setup. Moving forward, let's implement email encryption. We'll use Bouncy Castle's APIs for this purpose. First, we'll create a class that handles email messages. Now let's add encryption to our email message class. We'll need methods to encrypt and decrypt the email body using asymmetric encryption, specifically RSA. Next, we'll generate a pair of keys for our encryption and decryption operations. You typically do this once per user and securely store the keys. Let's create a key pair generator utility. Now we can generate keys for our users and use them to encrypt and decrypt email bodies. Let's put everything together in our main application class. At this point, we have a system that can register users, hash their passwords, and send encrypted email messages. However, it's essential to ensure that our application is secure against threats. To add another layer of security, consider implementing email signing. This ensures that the email content hasn't been tampered with during transmission. We'll use a digital signature for this purpose. You will need to verify the signature on the receiver's end to ensure authenticity using a similar method. Over here, we confirm that the signature matches the email body. With this digital signing in place, your email system is far more robust against tampering. It's important to have a solid testing strategy for such security features. We can use JUnit for unit testing our email functionalities. As we conclude this video, remember that building a secure email system needs ongoing attention to new vulnerabilities and threats. As developers, it's our responsibility to ensure that our applications remain safe. Thank you for staying with us throughout the tutorial. We've covered a lot today: user authentication, encryption and decryption of emails, digital signing, and foundational testing practices. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content related to Java programming. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!